Welcome to Our Girl Relationships. We talk about the problems people face in their day to day lives. Let's start with the video. Me and my younger sister Martha never had a relationship like those in movies. We always hated each other and just grew up and became mature enough to tolerate one another. I'm 27-year-old female and she's 25. I've been with my fiance for 3 years now. We've been engaged for about a year and we're so close to getting married. We even had the date fixed and booked a venue and everything was perfect. But then my sister had to ruin everything good in my life, like always. So accidentally, my wedding date clashed with her birthday. Now, I can ask if I'm the a-hole for forgetting my only sister's birthday, but in my defense, she got my wedding canceled as an act of revenge. So me and my fiance wanted to have a summer wedding, and we wanted it as soon as possible, so we fixed the date in August. I told my family we booked a beautiful church near the beach and everything was planned when Martha called to ask me to change my wedding date. I asked her why, and she said because it's her birthday and it will forever become my anniversary day if I get married on it. She would lose her special day. I told her she was being ridiculous and she can have her birthday celebrated at the wedding. We can defiantly adjust this problem. But she started accusing me of wanting to steal her spotlight and whatnot, so I simply refused. I told her it's on her if she wishes to come to the wedding or not. Regardless, she will get the invite, and my wedding is happening on the day it's decided, and hung up. I told my parents about it and told them how childish she was being. They suggested I ignore her and continue with my planning, but I should not have ignored her because the next thing I received is a text from my fiance saying that he's canceling the wedding. I rushed to his house and asked him, "What is the deal?" And he tells me that I have been known to be cheating on him with some guy named Joseph. I asked him who told him that. My sister, had called my fiance up and told him that I've been hooking up with the coffee shop owner, Joseph, where I get my daily coffee from. She took him to his cafe and asked Joseph about me, and he was surprised to know that I had a fiance. He always thought I was single by the way I always flirted back with him and never told him that I had a man in my life. I can totally believe Martha would do something like that to get back at me for not postponing the wedding from her birthday. I tried to talk to Kevin, my fiance, that Martha did this on purpose. She wanted me to cancel the wedding because it clashes her birthday. He told me he did not care about my sister's drama with her. He just knows that I let a guy believe I was single and available for trying while having a fiance and that he could not get married after knowing that. He said he's not so sure anymore. It broke my heart. Kevin called the wedding off and said he needed some space and time away from me. I hated my sister for this. She had the audacity to tell me days after saying that she did not get the invite to my wedding, knowing very well it got cancelled because of her petty brain. She forgot, if she can be petty, that I am her older sister. I know every secret she ever had, every little dirty thing she's ever done. I always pull the curtain over it because I felt like an elder sister and needed to be more mature than her. But not anymore. I scrolled through my Facebook friend list and clicked on the profile of the guy Martha dated in high school. I got his number from his profile and called him. He picked up and I asked him how he was. James and I graduated high school the same year. I knew him from before he and Martha decided to fool. I asked him if he was in town, since I was in town for my wedding too, and hoped that we could catch up. We decided to meet. So Martha and James dated till she was in high school. Then Martha moved out for college. James stayed in town, so they fell off. Martha had her current boyfriend Franklin in college. They'd been together for almost 5 years now. They seem like they're in love, and they probably are, but that did not stop Martha from cheating. Whenever she used to visit home, she and James would hook up. It went on for quite a while. One time she hooked up with James when she brought Franklin home for Christmas. James knew that she had a boyfriend, and he did not care. I never mentioned it before to her or Franklin because I deemed it none of my business, but now that she had my wedding canceled and my relationship hanging by a loose thread, I said hell to being mature. So I knew Martha and James were coming over to wrap up the canceled wedding this weekend. So when they were here, I invited James over too and acted like it was a coincidence. James agreed to help me get back at her. She played with his feelings for a long time too, so he had no moral responsibility left on that account. I let James in and introduced her to Franklin as Martha's high school love. My family knew James. We grew up together. They had no issues with him. Martha was clearly mad at his presence, but that did not stop me. I asked her if she's getting any flashback of the time when she was with James. She said, don't even remember the time since it has been so long, and she has only eyes for Franklin. To that, James said it's not been that long. They were having an amazing time in the back of his truck hardly 2 years ago. He still remembers it like today. Then he proceeded to ask how long she and Frank had been dating. I answered 5, and James laughed, saying he's flattered that he missed him while being with a handsome man like Frank. Frank got so mad. He got up and left the house, telling Martha to not follow him and to find her way home on her own. She came at me right after the front door got closed. She started calling me names and pulling my hair, saying I did this on purpose to set this up and that I cannot see her happy and I'm jealous of her and whatnot. I slapped her hands away and pushed her from me. I told her she asked for it herself when she got my wedding canceled for something so stupid, and that she should know every one of her actions has consequences. Am I the a-hole for giving her what she gave me back? It's just the day after my wedding, you guys. After everything that happened, I talked to Kevin and explained everything to him. That I did not purposely keep the information out so that Joseph would feel like he had a chance. I just never talked long enough to tell him about my personal life. I love him and only him. Martha wanted the wedding to get cancelled, and she probably asked Joseph to lie because I never flirted with him. I was just friendly. He listened to me and understood it. He knew how Martha is. He has seen her going out of her way just to make my life a living hell, so he believed me when I told him that she wanted the wedding off so she could have all the attention on her birthday. He also apologized for ever reacting and told me it was foolish to cancel our wedding over the day we dreamed of for the last year, so we rescheduled our wedding, not on Martha's birthday this time. We had the best day ever. We booked the same church on the same beach in my hometown, in which I wanted to get married since I was 8. We had the perfect wedding with our friends and family there to bless us. Kevin and I have better and far more healthier relationships than what Martha had with Frank. We might have been together for less time than they have, but we try to understand each other and do not cheat. Martha did attend the wedding, but without her date. Franklin broke up with her for good after that day. He told her to move out of his apartment and that she has broken his trust and humiliated him in front of her family. I personally agree with him. If it was a one-time thing, there was a chance of Frank forgiving her, but she cheated on him for years and years. And I'm pretty sure if James himself had not decided to stop it, she would have kept doing it. It was unfair to Frank and he deserved better. I hate Martha, but I wish she finds someone better too, to which she will stay loyal, I hope. She had nowhere to go since she did not have a job. She moved back in with our parents. My mother asked me to forgive her for what she pulled with Kevin, but I just could not. I invited her to the wedding knowing that she would not be happy for me, but I cannot forgive her for trying to ruin my life. Plus, she has not apologized to me yet after all this, and she still has no regrets whatsoever about what she did and how much pain and even money it cost us to cancel and then reschedule the wedding. She still keeps on blaming me for her breakup, which is absurd because she was a cheater. I was afraid to invite her to the wedding, thinking that she might pull something to ruin it again, but luckily all she did was to walk around telling people how much of a bitch the bride is. So, am I the a-hole for being happy despite ruining my sister's relationship? NTA, you were amazing. Your sister deserved everything that happened. She had the breakup coming, by the way. She cheated multiple times on a partner, and getting someone's wedding canceled for something like that was immature and petty and toxic. Good, you gave her a taste of her own medicine. NTA, she was mean to you, and what she did was way too much for something that could simply be talked out, like the wedding date. I bet some serious conversation would have solved that issue. My parents divorced when I, 16 male, was 4. My dad married Becca when I was 7 and stepped up to be dad to her kids, who at the time were like 3 and 5. My dad tried to ban the word step from our house. For a good 3 years, he told me I shouldn't call Becca my stepmom or her kids my step siblings. He said I could call her some other mom variant, but her kids were my brother and sister, period. Becca also chimed in on this crap and told me countless times that I was her kid's brother, and therefore my mom should be expected to be more involved with them. My mom, who I lived with half the time, but now I live primarily with her, was expected to buy them gifts and invite them over to our house and treat them like part of the family. She was expected to call them my brother and sister, and I guess act like they were her stepkids versus her ex husband's stepkids. To me, they have always been step siblings. Becca is my dad's wife or stepmom. Though stepmom to me is more of a close title since my friends who use that are close to their stepparents. LOL. I'm not close to Becca or my dad. I ended up choosing to stay more with my mom because I could not handle dad and Becca constantly bringing her kids' inclusion at my mom's up to and around me. They would either talk to me about it or would corner my mom at exchanges in front of me. My mom would always try to minimize contact, but my dad and Becca made it a point to be present at the moment I would get to my mom's house or car. My mom is significantly better off financially compared to dad and Becca. I always assumed it's why they pushed the idea of my mom buying them gifts and including them in her life and has been such a big push. They know I have stuff Becca's kids never get, and they know I get cool experiences. The last time my dad and Becca brought it up, I got mad. I had already told them to stop countless times in the past, told them to leave my mom alone and leave me out of it. I told them Becca's kids were not my brother and sister. They're my step siblings, and I was going to keep using step regardless of how much they liked it. I also said they're not my mom's kids, therefore not included by her when she has me. I said they needed to get over that fact, that they can't demand my mom buy gifts like she has 3 kids or open her home like she has 3, that she has just got me. And by demanding crap, they are making crap toxic as hell. I think the point that got them the most mad was saying that they are not my brother and sister. They've always been big on step being exclusionary. To me, it's just true though. No hard feelings towards Becca's kids, but step siblings is how I see them. AITA? NTA. It is wrong of your dad and stepmother to use you to manipulate your mother into claiming her ex's stepchildren, especially when you were younger. They should never have put you in that situation. Also, it is wrong for them to expect your mother to see their children as hers. It may seem unfair that the others have less than you, but life isn't fair. I fail to see how you could be at fault. You call it like you see it, only you can decide how you want to be related to them. And if that makes your dad and his wife upset, that is their problem, not you, not your problem. NTA. I'm a 36-year-old female and my husband is 40. I have 2 kids from a previous relationship and he has 3 from a previous marriage. We share a year-old daughter. My husband's previous wife died over 8 years ago. Last Christmas, his children asked me to adopt them. I was all for it, but I wanted to see what his daughter, 15, thought about it since she's had a tough year. She was very close to her mother until this day struggles with her death. The kids are in routine therapy, so I just wanted to know how she would feel about it, given the last months she's really been in a bad headspace. Coming from a daddy's girl who also lost her father at a young age, sometimes we're not good at accepting change, even when we say we are. Though she said she was still on board, I wanted to ask her one on one. She expressed to me that she had a change of heart. She felt as if she was replacing her mother. It hurt, but I understood and I explained to her that I was in no way trying to replace her mother. I explained to my husband that I think we should wait on the adoption, or I just adopt the boys. He wanted to know why, and I explained to him the talk she and I had. He said fine. I came home to my stepdaughter locked up in her room, upset. All the kids were more than quiet, and I wanted to know why. Because our home is rarely quiet, especially with 6 kids in the home. I'm used to coming home to a noisy house. I found my sons down in the basement playing on their games and asked why everyone was so quiet. He said that my husband and stepdaughter had a big blow up about me adopting them. I immediately got pissed. I confronted my husband and asked him why did he confront her? He said because she lied and changed her mind, that she needs to accept that her mother is gone. I cursed him out. I told him he wouldn't understand if he never lost a parent, that she feels lost. She may even be depressed. This would be something new for her. I told him she would never get over losing her mother. I was furious he even responded that way. He said he didn't mean it that way, but I told him the damage was done, that he should be comforting her instead of being confrontational. He told me I was crossing boundaries, telling him how to deal with his child. I told him our child, before flipping him off along with a few other choice words, which were probably wrong. I begged and pleaded with my stepdaughter until she opened the door. I told her we didn't have to talk and that I just wanted to be near her, and I apologized for her father's behavior. She cried a little. There were lots of hugs, and we talked about it. Though she and I are good, she still hasn't spoken to my husband in days, and neither have I. Now his family is taking his side. My husband is a Marine and can be harsh in his communicative delivery, which is no exception. I've had to explain to him that we're not his soldiers, but his family. NTA, as a step parent, you did everything right, going above and beyond. Your husband, on the other hand, screwed everything up by confronting an emotionally distraught 15-year-old with whom you had to come into an understanding with. This will take a long time to fix. You're an amazing stepmom. Honestly, screw what his family feels. Taking away a child's choice is never the answer and is the reason they go no contact once they are of age. Hopefully, you can be there for her and keep validating her feelings and letting her know you'll never invalidate or overstep. Also, it may be nice to have a conversation with her on what you went through growing up.